The following program is intended for mature audiences.
A democratic republic of sports. The Sportsocracy with ESPN Asheville hosts Tank Spencer and Jeremy Greene.
Welcome into the Wicked Weed Studio. I'm Tank Spencer, Brian Haynes here, and Jeremy Greene alongside, as always. Welcome into the program. It is a Thursday morning, and we're going to call it a Friday morning as well. Look, it's holiday weekend, and names are on the building. 4-day weekend.
Yeah, and we're tired.
4-day weekend.
Somebody in the comments asked why we've been doing 10 o'clock, because now the whole staff is sitting at this table.
Yeah. Yep.
We have Tommy, who still does our social media, but this is a really busy time of year for Tommy as well.
Yeah.
So now we're doing like 8 people's jobs between the 3 of us. So, and I'm sick, which is not helping shit.
Yeah, so this morning we are going to get into the running back preview for 2021. Obviously, yesterday we did our mock draft, and I'm disappointed in all of you. Apparently, there's a great feeling that I lost that draft, and I really disagree with everyone.
I agree with them. I shellacked you, and I will continue to do so all football season long.
Well, I don't think we expect anything different. I wasn't as upset about that. I expect to lose to Jeremy in just about everything fantasy football related. However, I am upset that you thought that Brian's team was better than my team because your team is
far
not good.
Superior team to everywhere. This
Jeremy
love that we got out there. I think people were looking through some rose-colored glasses, if you know what I'm saying.
I would agree with you, except the fact it spanned 3 social medias and you were both batting 0. Like, not one. I wanted to give you one.
Not one person.
There wasn't one.
No.
There was no hope. Oh, wait. Hold on. I was...
Carolus, monster of the South, second cousin to Mothra, never lost to Godzilla, never to the Zilla.
So does that mean I'm Godzilla?
Never lost.
I've been called worse things in my life.
Yeah, Godzilla, that makes me the 3-headed one, the Hydra.
Yeah, Hydra.
No,
the one that just get ripped apart at the very beginning.
You're the second color to the Mothra. You're
LaMelo, Lonzo, D'Angelo.
Oh. So Peyton, Eli, Cooper.
Well, you could say Arch. How about that? Arch is coming up in the rankings. He might be better than all of them.
No, he's going to be better than all of them, which means that person is not here yet. Whoever Arch is not here. Anyhow,
if there's an Arch out there, it would be. It'd be nice to have a hot little prospect. So.
It was the mock draft 1.0. We will do more of those throughout the season. And what the goal I would like to get to is that we do a live mock draft with all of you doing it with us at the same time.
Yeah, we're going to do a live draft next week. We tried to, in all honesty, we wanted to do the Manscaped draft this week. Look, I'm not overly worried about Rona and shit like that, but I've been sick as fuck for 2 days. Mm-hmm. So it almost made it impossible. That's why I sound like this. That's why I'm not going to be around this afternoon. I think I just have allergies, but just to be 100% safe.
Yeah. Yes, Jonathan Welch, I will take the criticism. Homer, I had a Homer draft. I did.
He always does.
I always do. I always do because I have these guys that I absolutely believe are going to be really, really good, and I end up overdrafting. And it happens to the best of us.
See, I don't. This is where my
stupid drunk on Chase Edmonds, and that's where my whole draft went that way.
My emotionless, I love my wife, I love my children, I love all of you. I don't love any football player.
Yeah.
Because I am a Jets fan, and anytime I love someone, they disappear. It's kind of like Thanos. Every time I fall in love with a player, and they just turn to shit.
Yeah.
So I just don't care. I'm very analytical. That's how I have done reasonably well at fantasy football in my life. Right. I'm not attached to anyone.
I have already seen the writing on the wall, and I think I'm ready to say that Chase Edmonds is my new Tevin Coleman. He is the guy that I'm going to overdraft because I believe so much in the talent. And
Patrick Holt said the NCAA has decided to remove me from the draft due to protocols. Tank's declared the winner.
Yes.
It's the only way he was going to win it.
Yes.
So.
I will take it. I will be Mississippi State, motherfucker.
And funny,
by the way,
he was vaccinated.
I don't. I was. And yet, I'm the one that's sick. Weird how that happened. I also carry my keys around on my arm because they just stick. I don't know why that happens.
Right.
Weird. I know.
Right.
By the way, good on you, Mississippi State. I don't know that I've ever been so happy to see somebody win a game that I didn't. Yep. I neither watched a second of or really gave a shit about. But seeing that Vanderbilt lost gave me a lot of joy.
And got shellacked. 9-0. Just eat a dick, Vanderbilt.
You got
NC State thrown out of the College World Series because your coach is an asshole. And now you got what was coming to you. And I am. You got pounded on.
You got pounded on camera a way that makes the Kardashians look like softcore. Oh! Might be sick, but I'm still here for it.
Make them laugh.
God almighty. Oh yeah, it was great. There were a lot of Mississippi State fans in the crowd that were wearing Wolfpack red, and
I'm here for it.
And that's great. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It did make me care in a way that I didn't think I could care. It honestly did.
Yeah.
Because after NC State got thrown out of the College World Series, I went, I don't care what happens. But yeah, now that Mississippi State has completed their first College World Series championship, I feel like there's a little modicum of vindication in there for everybody who hated the decision that the NCAA made.
Yeah.
And advanced Vanderbilt on. Vanderbilt's a fine program, fine school. They have great players, and I'm really, really hoping that Jack Leiter ends up being Boston Red Sox at the end of the at the end of the fourth pick
He's not
in the draft.
You're going to take some shitty infielder like you always do. Hey, I know stuff about baseball.
Possibly so.
Yeah, that's what your GM does. So I know stuff. I just don't care.
You just don't care.
There's a huge difference.
It's good to know.
Jeremy knows about baseball. I just wish I didn't.
Anywho, haven't said this yet this morning. We are in the Wicked Weed studio, wickedweedbrewing.com. Drink different, like, share, and follow on all the social medias. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, share it out with your friends as well. And we're going to talk about the 2021 running back projections for this year. We did it the same way we did our quarterback weekly top 40 a few weeks
top
ago.
40.
That's exactly right.
This long-distance dedication comes from Joe Judge. Saquon, we missed you, and we can't wait to have you back. This is the Pretenders. Don't you forget about me.
We did all of our top 40s. Brian focused on the fantasy. Jeremy focused on the talent evaluation, and I focused on 2021 production of how I believe things are going to pan out in this year.
So I have a starting with you. Huh? I have a starting with you.
A starting with you?
Us starting with you.
Oh, okay.
I understand that, with
I'm sorry. I'm deaf.
Nobody understands the words that are coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, with me being a little nasally, I understand it's hard to understand the commas, but they were there.
Nasal and country as cow shit don't equal to just actual, speaking. But,
Tank's computer almost just got wrecked like a Kardashian.
It did. We almost saw sparks fly up as I spit my coffee upon everything in here. But before we get into the top 40 lists, I feel we do have to give big old congratulations to Chris Paul. Finally getting into the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns last night closing it out against the Los Angeles Clippers. CP3 had what, other than winning a championship, other than completing this run, which could still very well happen. I said a couple of weeks ago that I think, or I guess it was last week, that I think Phoenix is now my favorite to win the championship. But anything short of that might be the defining moment, sadly, of Chris Paul's career. If he doesn't win the championship, scoring 41 points in a closeout game against your former team and getting that monkey off your back, holy cow.
Oh, by the way, if you listen to, I don't get to take this victory lap since I won't be on the ESPN show this afternoon. Mm-hmm. If you listen to the Greene on Greene yesterday, finally broke that 1-1 bullshit streak.
There you go.
Got them both. Got them both.
A 2-0 night on the Monkey Knife Fight Play of the Night. We will not have a Monkey Knife Fight Play of the Night for you today, though.
Because it's off the board.
Right, they have taken Milwaukee, Atlanta off the board. Giannis is doubtful. Trae Young, he'll probably play.
Trae Young's actually also doubtful, from what I've been told.
Really?
He's listed as questionable. He is.
Right.
They consider him to also be doubtful
Right.
to play tonight.
I have hopes that Trae Young is going to play because they made the call so close to the last game that apparently he was on the cusp of playing after injuring the foot in the previous game in Game 3. So it leads me to believe that he's probably better than questionable to play in this game, especially since they know if we have Trae Young on the floor, even at, 65%, we got a great chance of going up 3-2 in this series and going back home to close it out, which I think they can do without Giannis, if Giannis is not going to play. So
good news was that Giannis doesn't have any structural damage. For, Jeremy had said yesterday that injury kind of looked like he was just going to be, we'll see in 2023 kind of injury. So at least it seems that he has evaded the serious injury of this. Will he come back this series? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I would find it hard. Just swelling alone will not allow him to play. And, Chris Middleton needs to step up. He needs to step up for this team to do anything.
If Giannis doesn't play another game in the series, they're screwed.
Yeah. And Chris, you got to give it up for Chris Paul. I've always thought that behind Magic Johnson, Chris Paul's the best floor general that we've seen in this game. And last night was was awesome to see him go all out, just draining threes, 7 of 8 from three-point range. I think they figured something out with Craig instead of Mikal Bridges defensively. He was a plus 28 yesterday.
Yeah.
And the Clippers, when Markieff Morris is shooting 11 three-pointers, or Marcus Morris, I'm not sure which of the twins he is, to be honest with you, that's not good. Right. Either one of them shooting 11 threes is not good.
Right. I know you.
Sorry, I just saw something very funny.
Is this something you like to share with the group?
So the name, image, and likeness thing started today. And one of the first deals that was announced was Auburn quarterback Bo Nix.
Yep.
Who signed a deal with Milo's Sweet Tea, which I've never heard of in my life.
Oh, it's good.
It's good.
That is a very common thread.
They carry it at Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
The only problem is that he said Milo's Tea is a family tradition at the Knicks house. And he is currently trending on Twitter because people keep making jokes of course you like it at home, you just can't have it on the road. Oh. Because Bo Nix can't win games on the road. You should probably think about these things before you say them. Great at home, sucks on the road.
See, the NIL's already paying off. It's already giving us content.
Yeah. An armchair commentary came in with it's Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yeah, it is Bobby Bonilla Day. Congratulations to him.
He was paid his $1.8 million today, which is the ugliest contract and probably the funnest contract I've ever seen in my entire life.
I feel like Bobby Bonilla's already been paid 3 times this year. Is it just this year has been that damn long?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, hell.
Yep.
I saw that and went, good Lord, have mercy.
It's been a year.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it sunk in to me, because I can remember doing the morning show on Bobby Bonilla Day last year. So it's been just a little over a year that we've been doing this thing.
Yep, which means it's about time for us to relaunch and change the way everything looks.
Yeah.
Hey.
For you guys. Right.
We're here for you.
Right. And as we get closer to football season, that's going to come to fruition. Of course, last things on the basketball game last night, Patrick Beverly,
he sucks at life.
Oh, Jesus.
And Frank Kaminsky's a big old bitch.
He's
just a big old soft as baby shit bitch.
We were sitting here yesterday after the show, and I mentioned how much I hate Patrick Beverly because of how much of an idiot he is.
Yeah.
And so, when he did that last night, it just made me smile.
Vindication.
Jeremy said that's the first thing he thought of when it happened was what I said, and he's a jerk. He's an idiot. He's an absolute idiot.
Oh, and by the way,
Chris Paul schooling him last night, and midway through the fourth quarter, he pushes him in the back, gets ejected from the game.
Yeah.
I don't know what Chris Paul said to him, but I bet it was good.
Oh.
I bet it was good.
I'm sure it was good. But,
you got to compose yourself. In
it was probably something of the level of, I can't even get my hair cut because I can't trust the Clippers.
Oh. Make them laugh. Make them laugh.
Whatever he said, it definitely sent Patrick Beverley over the edge. And he pushed him, and then as Chris Paul's lying on the ground, LeBron James style, Frank Kaminsky's just standing there staring at him like, what do I do? Do I help him up? Do I not?
He gave him like that. And he's only 8 inches taller and outweighs him by, I don't know, this table plus 2 fat children.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And still just,
Yeah. Yeah, so Frank Kaminsky I was shocked when he was trending this morning, and then I saw why, and I was like, oh.
Oh, yeah, by the way, trust playoff Paul George the same way you trust Mexican tap water, gas station sushi, or knowing things about the Clintons. Because it will hurt you when you least expect it.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
It'll hurt you when you most expect it.
Because when you're drinking that water, there's a great possibility this ain't going to end well.
Yep. Nope.
And it didn't end well for the Los Angeles Clippers. And after the game, Paul George said, if Kawhi had been playing, we would still be going on. I'm sure that's the case. But that's not right.
Yeah, and if Jamal Murray had been playing for the Nuggets, they'd still probably be my 2021 NBA champion.
And if a
Denver Nuggets.
And if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass while hot.
Bingo.
Jerry, do you know where that phrase actually came into fruition?
I assume somebody looked at a bullfrog and said if it had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass.
No, it was Tia Carrera on Wayne's World told that to Wayne in the movie Wayne's World.
Never seen Wayne's World.
Yeah, I know. I
do know who Tia Carrera is, though.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah. Well, she was 25 years ago.
Not anymore.
Oh, I haven't seen her since Wayne's World. Don't care.
Botched facelift.
Oh no,
bad.
That's always the worst.
Yeah, it's the reason I won't get work done.
Like Meg
I'll just
Ryan
be ugly.
And who's the other one that Meg Ryan's got one of those bad.
I mean, Tara Reid's she's the staple.
Yeah.
She had a botched boob job, and now hers point north, east, and southwest.
Holy hell! Let's talk some football.
Let's do it.
2021
football!
Running back rankings for the upcoming season. Again, Brian focused on fantasy production.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah, we'll do that at the end. Jeremy focused on the talent evaluation, and my top 40 of running backs is based on just how I think they're going to produce in 2021.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. All right, my top 40 running backs list starts with the usual suspects. I mean, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. I don't think those are controversial. I think everybody can universally agree that those are the top running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
True?
Yeah. I feel like you said Saquon Barkley wrong at number 5, though.
No. Jonathan Taylor becomes my number 5 because he's running behind a much better offensive line.
Well, there's also not the massive fear that he's going to be hurt.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
I'm scared of Derrick Henry. You two don't seem to be.
No, I'm not scared of Derrick Henry.
Saquon's going to be fine. He's going to be just fine, folks. Don't worry about him.
I hope that Saquon Barkley is going to be fine, but I have him at number 8 on my list because I just don't know. Plus, he's running behind one of the worst offensive lines in the league.
It's better.
How?
How?
Yeah, how's the New York Giants line
better? It's better.
Than dog shit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, is this your Cincinnati Bengals side, Cincinnati Bengals fan side coming out here?
No.
Trying to tell me that things are going to be much better this year.
Well, they can't just stack the box on them. We have weapons.
There are threats.
Yeah.
There are threats on the outside that could open up things for Saquon Barkley.
And
but
before he got hurt and he was having those problems, the teams looked at the Giants and said, we don't need to do anything but just stop you.
Right.
And I think they can't really do that this year. So.
Right. We have seen Saquon be the number 1 running back. I mean, we've seen him have those games where we go, God, that's an era changer.
That's a bad man.
Right. but we also have seen him struggle mightily.
Yeah.
Before the injury, he wasn't doing well.
Yeah.
With that offensive line. They could stack the box and they could just stonewall him at the line. And I think he's going to have those moments again this year. But only because the weapons are so good on the outside.
We're talking
it'll
about
open
Saquon
things
here
up.
still,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a fun question.
Yep.
Talk to me.
How many games has Saquon Barkley played in the NFL?
I don't know.
17?
You're a Giants fan. You should be markedly closer than that.
I was going to say
It's 31.
I was going to say like 27.
What? Wait, what?
He's been in the league 3 years. Mm-hmm. He came in with Baker and Darnold and all those.
Oh,
This is his
yeah.
4th year. In
I
31
forgot.
games,
I missed 1 year. Yeah, I would have said, yeah. My
Yeah,
bad.
because he played 2 games last year.
My bad.
in 31 games, he has 23 touchdowns. With nothing
Yeah.
around him, in large part. You're disgustingly too low on Saquon Barkley. I believe on talent alone, I have him 3rd. I could be wrong. He might have been 4th.
Right.
Love how people.
And I don't disagree. I don't disagree that he is a top 5 running back talent-wise.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's going to translate to production on the field.
Okay.
Which is what I based my list on.
Yeah.
It's not a I hate this guy.
No,
it's how I think they're going to
understand.
perform.
I understand that.
So, to me, your top 10 is pretty easy.
I just look at someone like Jonathan Taylor, who does have Marlon Mack and Nyheim Hines. I do look at someone like Nick Chubb, who does have Kareem Hunt. So I think production-wise, when you look at the stats at the end of the year, I feel like you would see more from, barring injuries, you'd see more from Saquon than you would from those guys. Not that I don't like, I love Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to have a crazy good year. Nick Chubb is still awesome. But, yeah.
They do have other backs to contend with. There is no doubt about that. And those other backs do have their roles, but these guys still get theirs.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, it doesn't matter. I mean, you don't necessarily want to do this, but, I mean, you could play Nick Chubb and, you could have Nick Chubb and the guy you're playing could have Kareem Hunt, and you both get 20 points.
Yeah, of course.
They still get theirs regardless of who's on the field with them.
Yeah.
I got Ezekiel Elliott at 9, Cam Akers at 10. This is the area where I get everything is really clouded for me. Between Cam Akers, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, all those guys are interchangeable to me as far as how I feel their production is going to be this year. They're all going to have great numbers if they're healthy.
I don't mind the bottom of your top 10. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I think you're too high on Cam Akers.
Okay.
Not by much, but you're a little too high.
Okay.
I think you're too high on Derrick Henry. I think McCaffrey Cook to me is 6 one way, half dozen the other. I think you're too high on Kamara. And you might be too high on Aaron Jones. I think Aaron Jones is going to have more of a split with A.J. Dillon than you think he will.
Right. A.J. Dillon taking more of the ground and pound mantle
I could just
on.
see him having that fat Jamal Williams role.
Yeah.
And he's better at it. He's more athletic. He's a more talented player. So I struggle to believe that they took this guy in the 2nd round and now you're just going to get the full workload with Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones, don't get me wrong. There's a reason that through 2 coaching staffs, nobody has felt the urge to give him full workload. There's a reason for that. I don't know what that reason is. He's a reasonably decent pass protector. He's a decent pass catcher. But when you see 2 different coaching staffs say, nah, we're not giving him that.
Right.
Yeah, I also kind of felt Aaron Jones was going to have a little bit of a tail off last year, and he didn't. So I think, and it's not like Green Bay improved their wide receiver room. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're still going to, I'm still thinking Aaron Jones is going to get a lot of work out of the backfield, not only running game, but in the passing game as well. I almost agree with you. I feel like, 11 through, 17 almost, I don't know if they're necessarily say interchangeable, but I think they're all going to be so close.
God, I don't think they're interchangeable. I think there's a huge drop-off.
After.
15? I'd say after Joe Mixon.
After Joe Mixon.
I would say, but now you've got some guys way too freaking low here.
Okay.
First of all, the fact you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 18 makes me laugh a lot, like a whole lot.
Why?
You want me to tell you how many running backs between? God, I just saw you Kareem Hunt at 24.
Kareem Hunt's at 24.
Stop. Good Lord, have mercy. Where would Edwards-Helaire? I mean, you'll see it on my slide. He falls quite some way to me.
Yeah.
Basically, that whole third column, I'd have them all in front of him.
Wow.
I cannot
Really?
stand.
Based on production, based on what he's going to put out on the field this year.
Yep.
In that Kansas City offense, there's a lot of opportunity for him to get loose because they're so afraid of Patrick
Did he do it last year?
Mahomes. He did at times.
Twice against the two worst run defenses in the NFL. Other than that, he had over 70 yards one time.
Yeah, he kind of peaked after week 2. It was people were like, "Oh my God!
Oh, yeah,
he's such a bowling ball. He's going to be the best in the world." And then it just.
Yeah,
I think
by
he
the way-
was traded 4 times in my league last year.
Yeah, and guess what? There's now, again, there is a stable of running backs back behind him. Elijah McGuire, Jarrett McKinnon, still got Darwin Thompson, still got Darrell Williams. You're going to see a lot of those guys get touches. A lot. So, yeah, Edwards-Helaire is the one that you're astronomically too high on to me.
Okay. I mean, I think the opportunity is there for him to get a lot. Chase Edmonds, I got him in the top 20 because I think he's going to take over that role. He's going to finally prove that he is a 3-down back, that he can be that guy for the Arizona Cardinals.
I like Chase Edmonds. I think you're I can't believe I'm about to say this either.
Yeah,
I think you're undervaluing James Conner.
I am.
James Conner is going to get touches in this offense. He is. And I think he's going to be the between the tackles guy. I don't really think anything in that offense has changed. I think now you just say Kenyon Drake, James Conner. It's the only difference. I'm not saying he's going to be the one because they pass a lot. Chase Edmonds will be the guy that catches passes because James Conner's not great at that. I think you're too high on him. I like the talent too, but you got to understand this would be a categoric shift in thinking for Cliff Kingsbury on Chase Edmonds. And I don't buy it.
You don't buy it. You don't think that it's coming. And I probably am overvaluing him. I can admit that. But I still believe that there is a lot of room for him to produce this year. Chris Carson at 20, that's going to be steady.
It's too high for me.
Really? Why?
The line
Because his line
sucks.
is so bad?
The line is brutal. And I like Chris Carson. He's built like a damn Terminator.
He does have a bit of the fumbleitis as well.
He does.
Does have a bit of the fumbleitis.
But do you
I think they're going to be behind a lot.
But do you think that I get that they'll be behind, but I don't know that they're going to be behind so far that they have to just completely abandon the run.
By the way, you're talking about Chase Edmonds?
Yeah.
Do you know how many touches he has in 3 years?
It's like 94, something like that, isn't it?
He had 94 in 3 games. 5 games. While Kenyon Drake was hurt. That's not that low. I mean, God almighty, A.J. Dillon has more touches than that. It's 300.
300, okay.
He has 302 touches in 3 years. That should tell you something. Cliff Kingsbury does not value that he is a every down in, down out running back.
Right.
And that's been across 2 coaching staffs.
Games that he has been given the reins, though, he has produced.
But you have to ask,
For the most part.
and that's kind of my point, is think about what you just said. He's been productive in games that he's been given the workload. Then why has he not been given more?
Yeah.
There's a reason for that. Cliff Kingsbury's tried his damnedest to tell you, I don't think this guy can handle more than 10 to 12 touches a game.
And I also think that's what the problem is, because Cliff Kingsbury is stupid.
You're right. Is he going to not be the coach for the Arizona Cardinals this year?
No, he is.
He got 27 carries against your New York Giants 2 years ago. It's the best game he's had in his entire career. He had 126 yards. The only other time that he's gotten more than 20 carries was last year when he had 25 carries, and I don't remember who it was against, but he had 70 yards.
Yeah.
It just didn't.
But how many?
It didn't work.
How many catches
It
did
was
he
against
have?
the Dolphins last year, by the way.
He only has 85 catches in his career. So,
Yeah.
or 80, it's 85.
He does, but I mean, he's got a lot of. I think he's going to get a lot in the passing game.
Yeah.
I think that's the guy that's going to be way overdrafted in fantasy football leagues this year.
Guilty. Yep.
Guilty.
Absolutely guilty. Raheem Mostert. I've got big high hopes for Raheem Mostert. With that offensive line, if he could stay healthy, I don't see any way he...
There's no Trey Sermon on this list.
There is no Trey Sermon on that list.
Yep, you did that wrong. You did that entirely wrong.
I completely forgot about Trey Sermon, I'll be honest with you. I did.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. It was when I was getting down into the end. It was hard to choose, and it was hard. I mean,
well, at that point, what you're trying to figure out is who's going to get workload.
Yeah.
Who's going to have workload, and I know Trey Sermon's going to get touches, but I can't tell you how much, because I believe that much in Raheam Mostert. I don't believe that Trey Sermon is.
I thought I was low on Trey
them.
Sermon, and I still have him in the high 30s, low 30s. I said that wrong.
I mean,
he's right. He's at the top of my fourth column.
I mean, he would be right at the end of this list.
Yeah, you got guys. God, there are guys that I just don't understand. I don't.
Zach Moss, I don't think is going to be productive at all.
I think Zach Moss is the starting running back for Buffalo Bills. Everything I've heard out of camp is that they think he can be the between the tackles guy, and Devin Singletary can be the complement.
The third down back. Yeah. And
Which is what I thought was going to happen.
But to me, it's going to be
last year, and it never did.
But to me, it's going to be such a split that I think both guys are going to get production this year.
I would agree.
But they're going to be right at the ass end of this list. Both of them. I did that with a couple of them.
You put Fournette and Ronald Jones together.
Same thing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be smack dab there in the middle. You're not going to be able to tell who's going to have the good week.
It's going to be very frustrating from a fantasy standpoint.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll have them nowhere. I won't even touch it. Yeah. It's just a situation that I want to stay away from.
I will say, looking at my list, we have some similarities. We have some massive differences.
Okay.
Top 10, I think we have almost the same 10 in the top 10.
He just had Cam Akers instead of Joe Mixon.
Yep. But I have Kareem Hunt at 14. And I think I might be too low.
I mean, Kareem Hunt on another team, I would say half of the league, he'd be the number one running back. His talent overall, he'd be number one running back.
It's over half. I would say it's probably 24 of the 32 teams.
Yeah.
He just happens to be on one of the 8 where he's not.
Yeah. I mean, I would take him over Antonio Gibson, J.K. Dobbins, Najee Harris, Miles Sanders, James Robinson. Everybody below him, I'd take him over. I would even have it would be pretty close for a couple guys ahead of him. It would be pretty close to where I could see if those guys weren't there. You know what I mean?
Is there anybody on my list that jumps out to you? Too high, too low?
I feel like Philip Lindsay is a little too high.
Yeah.
Talent. Mine's talent.
Oh, I forget. Yeah, sorry. Remember talent-wise.
I'll be honest with you. I think I'm too low on Philip Lindsay, if I'm being really honest.
Yeah, there's 850 running backs in Houston, and I don't know what they're going to do.
Doesn't mean he's not talented.
Yeah.
He's the most talented running back. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to take the late flyer on Philip Lindsay everywhere in fantasy.
Yeah.
Just because I think anybody with an IQ above a bag of fish food will very quickly realize Mark Ingram sucks and is old.
Right.
I'm trying to remember all the running backs they have there. Rex Burkhead he works in New England and not really anywhere else. And on down the line. You got lucky that Philip Lindsay signed with you.
Yeah.
If you want to keep him around and that be an actual piece of this, David Johnson, holy good Lord.
Yeah. David Johnson, Melvin Ingram, Rex Burkhead.
Yeah, it's going to be
Philip
gross.
Lindsay.
It's going to be absolutely gross.
Yeah.
Based on talent, though, Philip Lindsay, I mean,
I'm surprised that you have Javonte Williams so high as a rookie. I mean, he hasn't even played a single down in the NFL.
Who?
Javonte Williams at 23.
I liked him coming into the draft. Him and Najee Harris were my 1A, 1B.
And I know, I just.
And I like ETN too. It's not that I'm super down on ETN. I think he's going to struggle to assimilate to the NFL. I think that's why they have him running as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams is a man.
Yeah.
Right.
He runs like a man.
Yeah.
and he wound up in a system that I think fits him quite
He
nicely.
running like a man.
To me, he's a faster version of Melvin Gordon.
He might be the only guy on this list that I think I might put him ahead of Philip Lindsay, but I don't know that for certain. I don't think you're far off on Philip Lindsay. Yeah. Travis Etienne might be
I
the
think
guy.
when it comes to everything that it takes to be a running back in the NFL, Etienne's going to struggle to begin with.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things I saw on tape with him of everybody saying, his hands got so much better. They did, but they also force-fed him the ball. Mm-hmm. There were a lot of times that this was it was a net zero. There was nothing that could go wrong. They ran him on a lot of swing passes and shit like that. Mm-hmm. He's still not very good in pass pro, and that can be a problem in the NFL.
Yeah. Which I can very well, they're going to use him in that very similar role.
By the way, you're way too low on James Robinson.
Oh. I had him at what, 23?
You had him at, I thought you were lower than that. You might have been lower than that.
Probably not going to like where I have him then.
Yeah, I don't like where you have him at all.
Yeah, I just don't.
I think he's going to struggle to produce this year because of the presence of Travis Etienne. It's not that I don't like him. It's just I think that's a crowded situation now.
Right.
And I think the fact that Etienne has the history with the new quarterback is going to matter a lot. James Robinson's probably still going to get his, but I think he's somewhere in that nebulous 20s area as far as production is concerned. Now, based on talent, I don't disagree with where you have him here.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Jonathan Welch said Najee Harris is top 15. I would borderline agree with you. I couldn't put him any higher than I did without having seen him play one snap in the NFL.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be markedly higher than that. Najee Harris is the guy that you're getting in the third, fourth round right now that I think will be taken in the first round next year.
Right.
Tank's worried about the line. I'm not.
I am.
I'm worried about the
very
line
worried
for
about the line.
Ben more than I am for Najee. I think this team's going to run the ball a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because they know you can't ask Ben Roethlisberger at 39, to throw it 40 some odd times a game.
Well, I think the defenses know that as well, and that's, I guess, what kind of scares me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, put 8 in the box. I have Chase Claypool, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Deontay Johnson. Plus, I have Pat Freiermuth and Eric Ebron. Please stack the box against me. I dare you. Mm-hmm. It will not go well for you. I promise you that.
I'm a little concerned on the amount of carries that Najee Harris had in college coming into, and then having to go, that extra workload in an NFL season. I could see a path to where we could see Najee Harris come out of the gates running well, and then kind of have a slide in the second half.
Statistical analysis says that makes him more likely to be productive as a rookie, but more likely to have short careers.
Okay.
A lot of carries in college, people that do what I do have done a lot of studies on rookie running backs. The more carries you have in college means you're going to be really productive early, and you're going to fall off a mountain late.
Okay.
Right.
So I don't worry about that with Najee Harris at all.
Yeah, so 2021, you're like, this guy's going to
That's actually in reverse what I worry about with Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. Is that they split carries to such a point that I'm not sure either one is ready to be the guy.
Yeah.
That was one thing I feel like I did a poor job yesterday when you took Michael Carter. I'm going to be honest with you. I like Michael Carter.
Yeah.
I don't like him that high.
Yeah.
I don't like counting on him. Mm-hmm. He gets into that 9th, 10th, 11th round, and it's a guy that he's a lottery ticket, I'm good with. Because Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman are going to have more of a role in that offense than people want to think.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson, if you're in a real deep league, a guy that you should really look at.
I was picking him more for what I felt like was going to happen towards the end of the season.
And I totally understand.
Yeah. It was more
the opportunity
maybe it was
cost
just
is
a little high, yeah. And I think maybe I was picking. There were some other running backs I probably could have taken at that point. I really liked his upside, yeah. In the back end of the season. That's why, because I had already had Mixon and who else did I draft? Somebody else. Jonathan Taylor. So I was going to kind of ride those guys, anyways. But, we know.
It is.
Well,
what it is.
Yeah.
I don't see any other big qualms.
I don't see
with your
any
list.
big qualms at all. Maybe having DeAndre Swift a little too low. I think talent-wise, he's better, I think, than some of these guys.
I don't buy DeAndre Swift and never have.
No, okay.
I don't. I really don't. I've never bought into him. I think he's a guy that puts up fluffy stats, and when you really get into the brass tacks of what makes an NFL running back, he doesn't do any of them. The things that you don't quantify in a stat line, he doesn't do, and that's going to hold him back. By the way, that's the Chase Edmonds rule. The things that you're not seeing on a fantasy football stat line are the things that will hold back DeAndre Swift. He's the guy being grossly overdrafted in what I've seen. He's going in the beginning of the third round, which is stupid.
Right.
If you take him ahead of Josh Jacobs, you're out of your effing mind.
I mean, I don't think you see the production with only 521 yards last year.
Well, he was hurt last year, too.
Yeah. And he had, 8 touchdowns in 13 games, and his yards per carry were still at 4.6.
Yeah.
I mean, I like that.
And he's a good pass catcher.
You also have to remember that was in a system where they were behind a lot.
Right.
And for fantasy, it doesn't really matter how you get these things.
Yeah.
I just think people are undervaluing that he's not the only running back there.
No.
Jamal Williams, people look at that name and go, oh, he's just that big, chunky guy from Green Bay.
The garbage guy, yeah.
They thought enough of him to pay him. In a market where no running backs got paid, he did.
And there's been a lot of talk out of camp how they see him as an every down back. And he kind of fits the Dan Campbell, bite your kneecaps kind of player, I think.
Yeah.
So I could see where that is coming from for sure.
Well, I mean, he now has Anthony Lynn to call his plays for him, draw up his scheme for him, and I could think he was, when Anthony Lynn was the coach of the Chargers, Austin Eckler did pretty well.
Oh, by the way, there's something happening in the comments that I need to reference. There's a discussion going on about Alvin Kamara without Drew Brees.
Yep.
You have to be really careful trusting those stats because they always had a deep threat. There was always somebody, and it could be as far back as Ted Ginn.
Yeah.
They always had somebody that could kill you deep. I don't really feel like they have that now. My fear with Kamara is very simple. I feel like he's the best weapon on that team. It's him or Michael Thomas, and I don't think it's even vaguely debatable.
No, I mean, I think
Thomas
they're number
is not a guy that really...
Yeah. I think their number 2 right now is Marquez Callaway, and Traquan Smith are 1, 2, 3. And Marquez Callaway I've barely heard of, Traquan Smith you've heard of because he's had a couple big games and blah, blah, blah here and there. But
Right.
I think that's where they're going to run into problems, especially if somehow Taysom Hill became the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because then I think you can just really defend them with 8, 9 guys in the box, and then it could get really ugly.
Yeah.
Kamara is one of those that I don't know exactly what to do with. I can't. On talent alone, he is better than every guy on this list, not named Saquon, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook. However, I'm afraid that what he's going to be asked to do is not going to be great for his outlook.
Okay.
Is he going to be asked?
And I'm nervous about Latavius Murray, too.
Right.
I think Latavius Murray has more of a role in this offense than people think he does.
How much more do you think he's going to be asked to do, is my question. Because he already does so much. And did under Drew Brees. I mean, he led all running backs last year in targets. He had like 7 targets per game. How much more can that increase? How much more can they ask from him?
Kamara averages about 100 targets a year. He also only averages about 150 carries a year. That makes me nervous.
Right.
Now, you got to understand, Alvin Kamara averages carrying the ball about 10, 12 times a game. He is he's the super high-end extreme of a James White.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of what he's asked to do, the offense is now not built for.
Yeah.
You don't have that deep threat guy that's going to have people turned around and leave him in space one-on-one with linebackers.
Yeah.
That's where he's at his best because there's not a linebacker in the NFL that can defend him.
No.
And I'm just afraid with the way this team is currently constructed, you're not going to have a lot of that.
Yeah.
I mean, who are you overly worried about? Traquan Smith? No.
Adam Troutman.
Adam Troutman.
I like Adam Troutman. Don't get me wrong.
And, yeah, you just don't – you don't know who's going to be the quarterback. I honestly believe it's going to be Jameis Winston.
As do I.
I don't think there's
exactly
a chance that Taysom Hill is going to be the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, but there again, I'm not Sean Payton. I don't get to make that call.
Anything late for me that bothers you? I just realized I have Trey Sermon maybe too low.
Trey Sermon, 37.
Maybe too low.
Myles Gaskin, 38.
If I had done
Edwards-Helaire, 39.
If I had done the fantasy list, Trey Sermon would be higher. I did straight talent, and I've never super believed in the talent, but I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity.
I think I have
Were
him.
you commenting on my Edwards-Helaire at 39?
yeah, that at 39
I
seems
think
a
I'm
little
too high.
A little hazy.
I think I'm too high.
It's just
This,
not good
this,
for
this
you.
might be one of those situations where the hate on Clyde Edwards-Helaire might come so far that it comes back around, but I don't know. Jeremy hates him that much.
It's not that I hate him as a person. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
Well, I'm not saying him. Yeah.
Name me a 5'7", 210-pound running back that's ever rushed for 1,000 yards. I'll win.
I'll give you a hint. It's nobody.
There's not one.
Nobody.
There's not one.
No one.
He could be the first. I mean, if he'd have played a full season last year, he might have hit it. He'd have had to have killer games, those 3 games to do it. But I mean, he was 800 yards last year.
Yeah, let's play.
That was kind of my point on the production list. Was he's gonna have opportunity.
Let's play a fun game. How many carries did Clyde Edwards-Helaire have last year in 13 games?
No clue.
200?
188.
Okay.
181. I'm sorry. 181. How many did Alvin Kamara have? Total. 187. Kamara had 150 more yards on 6 more carries. That tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Yes, he's running behind a better offense. He was running behind a better offensive line last year.
Yeah.
I get it. Edwards-Helaire does none of these things. He had 300 yards against the 2 shittiest defenses in the NFL. Other than that, he was a god-awful 48-yard per game running back.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm good. I'll pass. I don't think he's markedly better than Darwin Thompson or Darrell Williams or Damian Williams, who almost made this list, by the way. Another guy that's being completely forgotten and shouldn't be.
Where's he getting?
Chicago. He's the backup to Montgomery. And if anything happened to David Montgomery, he would be a very high-level running back in the NFL.
Right.
Because they've made very clear that Tariq Cohen is not ever to run between tackles, ever.
But
David Montgomery, where's he on your list? I didn't see him.
22.
Okay. All right.
I like
still no
the
qualms
talent.
there.
Yeah.
I like the talent of David Montgomery. There's some things that bother me that I can't put him above a Raheem Mostert, who's one of the most decisive runners in the NFL.
Yeah.
Is David Montgomery more talented? Yes. Vision, it's 10-1 Raheem Mostert.
Right.
And that takes him ahead.
It scared me so much that his production got so much better with Mitch Trubisky at quarterback. It just seemed like that was a.
Well, the thing that should scare you about David Montgomery is that his production got better when all of a sudden he started playing the dregs of the NFL.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When you get to play he had 2 really good games against the Packers, and then the other 4 games he played were against the worst run defenses in the league.
Yeah.
It was like Houston and Minnesota and Jacksonville, and I'm forgetting one. But he had a stretch of very easy games for running backs, and I have tried to warn people against that.
Robert Johnson said in the comments, I laughed at the people that took CEH in the first round last year. Yeah, me too.
Yep.
By the way, I'll give you a fun little mantra that I've used for a lot of years in fantasy football. People are beholden to the most recent thing they've seen, and the most recent rookie running back that they've seen was Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who pooped in their lap.
Yeah.
It's pushing Najee Harris down. If you get Najee Harris in the 3rd round, you should 100% do it.
Is he lasting that long?
In some places, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that remember CEH from last year, and they're comparing the 2.
Yeah.
To me, there is no comparison.
Yeah.
Whether it's the team, the opportunity, what talent, there is no comparison.
Yeah.
And people will. Most recently, I saw a rookie running back that went in the 1st round, and he shit in my dinner.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to push Najee Harris down because of that. Not for me.
Yeah.
Not for me. If You told me I had the number 1 pick in a fantasy football draft, and I could go, I don't know, Dalvin Cook at 1, and at 24-25 split, I could go George Kittle and Najee Harris. Yes, I'm going to have to take that. I'm glad I don't pick for 22 more picks because I am not going to be able to stand up straight without you knowing exactly how happy I am about my team.
Talking about 6 to midnight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
100% 6 to midnight.
I got a bad feeling that I'm going to get skewered on my rankings.
On your fantasy rankings?
It was very hard for me to choose some of these guys. I know that I messed up a few.
I'll be honest with you, at top 10, I don't think you did anything wrong.
Just don't be too. It was more the back end that was hard for me, and just be nice.
I don't think you did anything wrong in the top 10. It's that second column where the shit starts to get a little sideways for me. To me, Najee Harris is 2 spots too high. At least. Might be 4 spots too high. For me, if you took Najee Harris and moved him from 11 to 15, pushed the other 4 up, yours looks almost exactly like mine.
Yeah.
And I would be fine with that. DeAndre Swift is too high. Josh Jacobs is too low. Kareem Hunt is too low.
Yeah.
Other than that, Edwards-Helaire, I've already beaten that horse to death. That horse is starting to turn. I've beat it so much. So
Feel like you're going to say James Robinson is too low.
James Robinson is too low. But other than that, I mean, I don't have a bone of contention with it.
To me, Javonte Williams is too low on your list. And Melvin Gordon might be,
I just
too
felt
high.
like it fantasy
I
wise.
disagree with you. I mean, in terms of if you're looking at a year long, Javonte Williams is going to run as the 2 for the vast majority of this year. I would say towards the end of the year when Vic Fangio's either been fired or it's very clear that it's going to happen, is when you'll start seeing more Javonte Williams.
Yeah. And I can't like that back end. I feel like maybe Kenyon Drake's a little too low.
Kenyon Drake is too low.
He could probably be a little bit higher.
Kenyon Drake should be where Ronald Jones is.
That back end, those last 5 picks, I felt those were more guys that are backups right now that I think are still going to get some work. And that's kind of where I went with them. Devin Singletary, I still feel like fantasy-wise, he's still going to, in a PPR league, he might score more than Zach Moss. I think Zach Moss is going to be very touchdown dependent. So
well, he gets all the inside carries.
I still feel
if
like
it's not Josh Allen, it's Zach Moss.
I still
And
feel
the
like
problem is, I think there's going to be a lot of Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I could see Zach Moss having one of those years where he has 800 yards rushing and has 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Josh Allen's the one that winds up pushing those in at the goal.
Exactly. I mean, 100%. Ronald Jones and the Leonard Fournette thing, I kept them pretty close because
I want neither.
Yeah.
They're interchangeable pieces.
Yeah, I want neither.
Yeah.
And I won't have either anywhere. I don't want to play that game.
You're not going to know week to week
Nope.
who it's going to be.
I would rather take the shot on, let's go, by the way, you have Trey Sermon too low. I just noticed that one. And Gus Edwards, for that matter. I would rather take the risk on, where I would have to take Ronald Jones or Leonard Fournette. I would rather take the Alexander Madison, whether or not I have Dalvin Cook or not.
Yeah.
I would rather take the risk that he at some point becomes the starter due to injury, and obviously it would be due to injury, not ineffectiveness. I would rather do that, where that falls.
I think a lot of what I was looking at was, other than like the Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb situation where there's 2 running backs I think are going to score, and Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, I find it hard to take a number 2 running back over a number 1 running back. And I know sometimes that's silly and not great thinking.
It's not silly at all. Let me tell you why I don't have that problem.
Yeah.
Or why I don't abide by that.
Yeah.
All right. If you take Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette week to week, you're never going to know what they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the same qualm you have with Alexander Madison. Unless somebody gets hurt, you're not going to feel good playing him, right?
Yeah.
Well, if somebody does get hurt, then you immediately feel good playing him.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
Are you ever going to feel good about Jones or Fournette?
And not unless one of the others are hurt.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who would you feel better about?
Alexander Madison.
There you go.
See.
No Dalvin Cook, you feel better about Alexander Madison. No Ronald Jones, do you automatically feel great about Leonard Fournette? Or do you feel like you're going to see some combination of Keyshawn Vaughn and all those other guys still stealing
I
carries?
think you would get an uptake on it.
100% you would get an
but
uptake.
not as much as of where I feel like if Alexander Madison was a starting running back and Dalvin Cook was hurt, I think fantasy-wise he would probably score more points.
Here's the question that I always ask.
Yeah.
Is there a path that Alexander Madison becomes an RB1 in fantasy this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's Dalvin Cook getting hurt.
Yeah.
Is there a path that Leonard Fournette or Ronald Jones do the same thing?
No.
Bingo. I use that tiebreaker a lot.
Okay.
Because here's the thing, if I take enough lottery tickets, I'm eventually going to be right.
Right.
And there are years where it just completely screws me and I wind up with a bunch of backup running backs. However, the value in a backup running back, let's say we go 6 weeks. We go 6 weeks and Alexander Madison has no value to me whatsoever because he gets 8 carries a week. And then Dalvin Cook, I don't know, just has a weird fell down and it didn't look right. Still finished the game.
Yeah.
But on Tuesday, he's sore. Guess what's immediately going to happen?
Yeah.
The guy that owns Dalvin Cook is going to come to me and say, hey, I need Alexander Madison. The risk on that backup guy is virtually non-existent. Because one way or the other, they're always going to have a value.
Yeah.
Those muddled guys, and I do this every year, and just looking at the list, I'll tell you a few of them. There are a few players that I will never have on a fantasy football roster, ever. DeAndre Swift is probably the highest one on your list. Because I don't see any way that he's ever going to make me feel warm and fuzzy about him being an RB1. Because I'm always going to think Jamal Williams is going to do. He's going to get that 10 carries a game, and Jamal Williams could be the guy at the goal line. Wouldn't shock me in the least. Raheem Mostert, I like. There's so much talk about Trey Sermon that it has to be coming from somewhere.
Yeah.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Chase Edmonds, Myles Gaskin. These are just guys that, yeah, they get carries. Am I ever going to feel great that I started them? No. I'd rather take the high upside flyer on a Javonte Williams than deal with Myles Gaskin.
And if you're getting to that point in the draft, typically those guys aren't going to be your Leonard Fournette, your Myles Gaskins. These guys aren't going to be your top.
They shouldn't be.
2 running backs. So you're really drafting your 3rd running back. And would you rather that have the upside of the backup running backs rather than those guys? I could totally see that 100%.
I'm always upside solely because I can sell upside in a trade.
Yeah.
If there's upside on a guy, just because it's not working out for me doesn't mean it couldn't work out for somebody else. And that's why I look at those. You said something about not wanting to take a 2 over a 1. I honestly think, short of Barry Sanders, there's not a running back that could be playing for the Miami Dolphins that I would feel warm and fuzzy about.
No.
So I'm not going to feel great about Myles Gaskin. I'm not going to feel great about Jared Dokes or anybody like that. It's just not going to happen. So for me, that's one of those things I just look at and go, yes, everybody eventually has a value. My value is going to be tremendously lower than anybody else's, and I just won't ever want it.
Yeah.
No.
I can definitely see that, and that's an interesting way of looking at it, especially in year-long drafts, in year-long leagues.
Right.
This is not something that you do like with dynasty drafts. Or
the way
like
I
that.
look at these things has always, I'm not as good in a dynasty as you would think I would be.
Yeah.
Because I use those redraft theories.
Yeah.
And I always wind up with a team that's super high upside, but then I go through these growing pains.
Yeah.
I draft the team's so damn young that I have all these pieces that I can trade, and then I wind up trading 2 or 3 players for
Right.
1 star.
And then you end up with a mediocre team because you've got a lot of upside. You don't have enough win now guys. That's a place that I have found myself in many a time.
Yeah.
As well. One guy that we haven't even talked about yet, I don't think, that has come up in any of our boards was Damian Harris.
I think
And
we
with
all
his
had him about the
situation-
same spot.
Right.
I think that, again, it's the New England running back.
Right. You have no idea what's going to happen with that running back room. Who's going to get the touches? Now, we believe Damian Harris should be the guy. We would all play Damian Harris as the one, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not a question. But the fact that James White's still around, Sony Michel is probably going to still get touches in this offense.
And they drafted
The
Ramondre Stevenson.
the Ramondre Stevenson as well. He's probably going to get some touches. I think Sony has now fell to 4th in that room.
Sony may not make that team.
Yeah.
Oh, they might cut him?
Yeah, I mean, he just can't stay healthy.
He may not make that team.
And when he is
They've
healthy,
already declined the 4th year, or
Yeah.
the fifth.
he can't stay healthy, and he's been given opportunities to be the number 1, and he's not ever, aside from his rookie year, a couple games towards the end of the year, he hasn't proven that he could be the guy.
Right.
They've tried. I mean, they've given him plenty of opportunities, and he hasn't succeeded, for sure.
But New England's got a really good offense, or a really good offensive line.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be a lot of running the ball this year.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a lot of Damian Harris.
I like Damian Harris is a guy I'm going to have everywhere. I'll probably take him around too early just to make sure I have him.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I know definitively that is the guy. Now there's no Rex Burkhead. The only impediment is James White. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't need Damian Harris to catch passes for him to be relevant.
Yeah.
I need him to run behind that line.
Do you like him better with either Cam Newton or Mac Jones, or doesn't matter?
I would prefer him with Mac Jones.
Okay.
But it's not drastic. My fear would be it's Josh Allen rule.
Yeah.
My fear would be you get to the 1 yard line and Cam Newton does it himself. Mac Jones is not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because Mac Jones is about as athletic as the board we're talking into right now. So
Yeah.
I would. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would like him comfortably better with Mac Jones.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that kind of plays into that kind of plays into what I'm thinking.
And I can totally see that because I think that changes. I think it changes the way New England's going to run their offense this year with Mac Jones at quarterback.
Mac Jones is he's painfully efficient.
And I think they're going to use. I think McDaniels is going to actually kind of switch up a little bit and become more of a running game, as opposed to using the short passing game as a running game.
Well, he doesn't have the receivers to do that now.
Yeah.
So I mean that's something that I always look at going into, especially in fantasy, going into drafts, is game script. Gray Ford said in the comments talking about DeAndre Swift that I was too low on DeAndre Swift. One of the things that I'm negative on DeAndre about is game script. I think Detroit's going to be behind a lot. And the problem is that they don't have the deep threat. And before you say Brashad Perriman, just understand I watched a year of him with the Jets. I think the wind blows and he hurts things.
I tried to warn you.
His bones are more brittle than tortilla chips. So just know that going in.
Yeah.
And there's just not a lot of guys. I mean, I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a guy that I think is a rookie wide receiver that is draftable in redraft. He's not a deep threat. And I just look at it and you don't have any of those. And if I'm a defense and I'm looking at Jared Goff and Hawkinson, who's very good across the middle and in short things like that, I'm not scared of anything you can do to me deep. Nothing. So I'm just going to stack
A healthy
boxes.
Terrell Williams doesn't scare you at all?
Who?
A healthy Terrell Williams. He does get the deep ball pretty well.
Well, how do I put this nicely? A healthy Terrell Williams would be a lot like an honest Clinton. If I ever saw it, I would tell you how much what I felt about it. But I've never seen it before, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Terrell Williams is one of those guys that is. And you got to remember, could I be wrong on this? Absolutely. You know, we do this for a living. I'm going to be wrong about a litany of shit.
Yeah.
Could I be wrong on DeAndre Swift? Absolutely. The way I draft things is I look at a percentage, or I look at the range of outcomes. And to me, the range of outcomes on a guy like DeAndre Swift is worse than the range of outcomes on, say, a running back. I'm trying to think of a running back. Josh Jacobs. I like the talent on Josh Jacobs. I like the game script because I believe in the Raiders more than these two do. I think the Raiders are better than the Lions, yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means he's going to be a positive game script more often than DeAndre Swift is.
Yeah.
Now, then you could get into Kenyon Drake's going to take the pass catching role and all these other things. Now you can start playing 3D chess. I'm looking at it like I think they're going to be not getting blown out more often than not.
Yeah.
And so I like a Josh Jacobs or a Joe Mixon. I'm trying to think of other guys around that. James Robinson. James Robinson's going to be the cover for Trevor Lawrence. You mark my words. I've watched how they have run these two. They are going to run James Robinson to try to stay ahead of the sticks because they don't want to put Trevor Lawrence in those situations where he can turn into bad Trevor. Do you remember I said that?
I just keep, every time we start talking about it more and more, I can see Trevor Lawrence just having like a sick amount of interceptions this year.
20. That's how many I projected.
Yeah.
Peyton Manning had 26.
Yeah. That does not mean I don't see him being a quarterback in this league.
To be honest with you, it's actually a positive sign.
Yeah.
Because usually quarterbacks that throw that many interceptions were given a lot of leeway because the coaches felt good that they had a good enough sense of the offense to run it like a veteran as a rookie.
Yeah.
So to me, he's going to throw a lot of interceptions.
Yeah.
I don't think Trevor Lawrence is even vaguely fantasy relevant this year.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure, and I think he is going to make a lot of mistakes because they're going to try to force the ball down the field. That's just the way I think Urban Meyer is going to go about this because he thinks he's the smartest guy in the room and he thinks he can he can show these pro guys something they haven't seen before.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to work a lot. They're going to take a lot of chances.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have to take a lot of chances to win some games. And I don't like it. I don't like the whole situation down in Jacksonville.
Not looking good.
Nope.
I don't like their offensive line, so I don't like James Robinson's prospects that way. I don't like Trevor's prospects all that much because of the same thing.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be getting after him.
Yeah.
And he'll be rattled.
I trust Jacksonville as much as I trust every other product other than Manscaped when I'm trying to shave my balls.
Hey, speaking
That's
of that.
a great idea.
Nice segue, buddy. Manscaped is now officially a permanent sponsor of the Sportsocracy.
They are indeed.
They will be here for the long haul. We just have to keep using that promo code promo code Sportsocracy at manscaped.com.
Yep.
Now's your turn. Sorry, I stepped on your toes there.
No, that's fine. I just want everybody to remember that they do have the precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They are the world champions of men's below-the-waist grooming. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. And, of course, you can get a great offer right now on the 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0.
Yeah, that guy right there.
Yep. We have all used the product. We all love the product. The advanced skin-safe technology makes us feel more confident about our me time in the bathroom. So right now, you can get this exclusive offer. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and manscaped.com. Get 20% off of your purchase and get free worldwide shipping. I mean, you know, when it comes to a very, very important job, you want to make sure that you have the best tools possible for that job. If you're trying to put up shelves, you're not going to be using a broom to put the shelves up.
No.
So why are you using anything but the best tools when you're dealing with the most valuable things in your life? Because let's face it, guys, nobody's going to love those things but us.
Yeah.
And we have to take care of them.
Yep. And
we have to make sure that they're presentable when the when the moment arises. You may never get that chance again. Married guys, you know what I'm talking about. Go to manscaped.com today. Use our promo code Sportsocracy, 20% off and free worldwide shipping. Yep, go ahead.
There's no cliffhanger. It's best for your low hangers.
2021 is going to be a very fun year in the NFL. We love talking about we love having these positional debates, and we'll continue with our top 40 lists throughout the season.
There's one positional debate that's not even worth having, though.
Tight end.
It's Travis Kelce, no matter what.
Travis Kelce, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw that up there every day for as long as I have to until people understand.
We may have to do like a top 20 list for tight ends.
No, we'll still do top 40.
Oh, gosh.
It's the weekly top 40.
He's going to have...
here's the thing. You got the tight end whisperer.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
He's going to have...
I can't wait for him to rip us to shreds over Dan Arnold. We'll have Dan Arnold way too low on our lists.
Oh, and I will.
And who's the other one? I keep forgetting his name from the Chargers, the big guy that you like.
Donald Parham.
Donald Parham.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say Donnell Pumphrey, but I think that was wasn't he a running back?
That would be Donnell Pumphrey
that's
from
what I
San
said.
Diego State that played for the Eagles. My brain.
That's the guy that was
weird.
in my brain.
Yeah, my brain is weird.
Not Donald Parham. We are going to be taking a 4-day weekend here for Independence Day. We hope everybody has a very safe holiday weekend. We'll be with you this afternoon, Brian and I, on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Of course, you can hear the show live or on demand on the iHeartRadio app. ESPN Asheville, the Sports Tank with Jeremy Greene, 3 to 5 weekday afternoons. Brian and I will be carrying the water on the radio show this afternoon and on Friday. So tomorrow we will do an afternoon show. We will not be back here in the Sportsocracy. And we'll reconvene here on Tuesday.
Hey, celebrate your Independence Day by blowing up a little piece of your land, you know what I mean?
There you go. Celebrate your independence by blowing up a small part of it.
And remember, it is always a successful Independence Day weekend when you come back from the weekend with all of your fingies.
Yes.
We don't need to be
We're
missing
looking at you,
any
JPP.
digits.
I will be taking the rest of the day to recover with some nice Theraflu.
Yeah.
And then I will be enjoying the birthday weekend. Happy birthday to my
birthday to
lovely
Amy.
soon-to-be wife. Amy, her birthday is on her. She and America have the same birthday.
Fantastic.
Yes, and happy early birthday to my father, whose birthday is on Monday.
Nice.
And since we won't be here, this will be my last opportunity to say that.
Yep.
So
Yep.
happy birthday, Dad, and happy birthday, Amy.
And Kevin Vick, have fun at Disney with the family over the next week, and we will catch up with you on
I'll be sending
the
some
next
prayers for you,
Monday.
big guy.
Yeah, we will.
Oh, God. Actually, you know what? Star Wars Land, you can pilot the freaking Millennium Falcon. Get your butt there. I want to see pictures.
MIC. See if you can sneak liquor bottles into your bag.
Yeah.
KEY. Why? Because it's hot as fuck.
Yeah.
MOUSE.
Yep.
Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse.
And as Casey Kasem always used to say, guys, keep your feet on the ground. Keep reaching for those stars.
Damn right. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Brian Haynes. He's Jeremy Greene, and we will see you on Tuesday. Have a great Independence Day weekend.
Thank you.